were chilling in Goa. So I thought he's chilling. He's not stressed.
You don't know now how stressed I am on the holiday thinking, Arey, when will the reviews come out? I'm not like, oh, I have to look nice doing this. I'm like, I look nice. I feel that. I sometimes watch my scenes like this. I'm like, what have I done? What have I done? Oh shit, did I do this? Oh damn. Like, ना मैं आपको लगेगा मैं तो पता नहीं क्या अलग ही प्रोसेस की बातें कर रहा हूँ और बोले बहुत पकाता है ये एक्टर है तो कुछ नहीं बट बातें देखो इनकी.
You also have a very successful sister back at home with Huma who's done such fabulous job.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Why do you say unfortunately? I mean, I
how can you show love to your sister on camera that too, yeah? How? So I want the industry to see that I've grown up and I can play different kind of parts.
Hey everyone, this is Hesha Chimah and joining me here for a conversation on India Today is Saqib Saleem. Thank you so much for your time.
My pleasure, Hesha. How are you?
Very well. How are you doing today?
I'm very, very good after reading all the lovely reviews that are coming in for the show. So yeah, very happy.
Listen, talking about the reviews, I want to understand before the show was released, what exactly was going on in your head? Because I'll tell you what happens with me. If I have an interview and if I know it's something that's really going to kick me or get me excited about, I'm constantly like stressed and nervous and anxious. But how are you as a person when you know there's a release, you know what the role is all about, but it's just there for the audience to then perceive it? And then like, are you like jitter?
Real, na? Yeah, you want to figure out what people think and what people feel. Because actually आप करते तो validation के लिए हो लोगों की यार मतलब we can say no we do it for ourselves अगर करना है तो एक home video बनाओ और घर पे बैठ के देखो but I feel like you do it for people so you really want to know what people want to say so yes there's anxiety there's a bit of nervousness but there's also excitement to share it with the world what you've been working on because we as actors when we're working on something we make it like the center of our world right
yeah.
This is it. And now that baby has to go out in the world, so there's nervousness, but also excitement. Ki this is what we worked on. What do you guys think?
You know why I asked you this first, right? Because you were chilling in Goa, so I thought he's chilling. He's not stressed.
You don't know now how stressed I am on the holiday, thinking, "Arey, when will the reviews come out? What will people say?" You were just seeing hunky-dory pictures.
I was like, he's putting thirst traps out.
Thirst traps and all.
Yeah, it was
fully clothed, red T-shirt, itna. No, अब वो भी thirst trap है तो I can't help.
No, I have a pool picture of yours.
Oh no! Yeah, I do. Yes.
So I was like, he's chilling, he's relaxed, he's not nervous. Please pass on that energy to me also.
No, I just want to send that energy in the world that I'm very relaxed and calm so that I start feeling that. But yeah, you are nervous when your work is supposed to come out. You worked really hard for it. And especially for Citadel, I'd cut my hair, I'd gone really short, that was something I'd done before. I love my hair.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how are people going to react? So yeah, there was nervousness, but also excitement.
That's what I want to ask you. Dropping Vanity, was it easy? Because what happens is most of the times when, as a woman myself, if I'm asked to do something different on camera, I'll just be like, no, this is my best look, I want to put that self out. But as an actor, you kind of have to oscillate between, being yourself, which is the vanity part of it, then being an actor and then suiting the role. How did you get through that headspace?
I don't know, as an actor, you have to be okay with how you look already. You don't have to be questioning how you look every day. You've been picked on a part basis your look, so you have to be very confident about how you look, and that's why you've been cast. So I don't feel like I don't even check the monitor or the mirror after I have started shooting. I don't care if I'm sweating or anything. If the director's like, okay, he needs a touch up, so I need a touch up. I don't think like that. I'm like, okay, if I have to go out, I have to look good. But if I'm playing a character, I have to look like that character. So if that character is supposed to be stressed and sweating right now, he better be. If he's supposed to look dirty and like there's a scene in Citadel where there's a bomb blast and because of that, I'm fully cut up and bruised. So be it. And we were very adamant about how bruised it should be because I've just faced that. So I don't think about it like that, to be honest. I'm like, okay, if I'm committed to doing a part, then I'm fully in. I'm not like, oh, I have to look nice doing this. I'm like, I look nice. I feel that. I don't have to validate that every time. I just want people to feel like, oh, he got the part.
Right.
That's the main thing. If people connect with the character, then they love how you look anyway.
Speaking of validation, for you, because you made your debut in 2011
oh, yes,
till now.
It's been a while.
It's been a while,
crocodile.
I know, it's crazy. At what point did you feel that finally the industry has opened up to the actor in you and they're more experimental with you in terms of the kind of roles that you feel you can perform and deliver?
I'm still waiting. I feel like I've been here, played a range of characters.
Yeah.
And I've been very fortunate. Let me first start with that I've gotten to work with such good makers. From the time I started, I got to work with Karan Johar, to Kabir Khan, to Raj DK, to now Sudhir Mishra after this. So I'm very fortunate, but I just feel like I've always, the strategy, or rather the lack of strategy, is that you work on what you get. And I feel like to constantly make people agree that, oh, you can pull this off, has been a task for me, to be honest. But having said that, I'm very grateful of the journey I've had. But yeah, I really want the industry to take notice of the kind of parts, and filmmakers to take note of the kind of parts I'm attempting, so that I can be cast in far more exciting things, because I feel like we are going through a very interesting phase. Right? This is, I feel like, the bad boy phase, where people are liking bad boys. There's Bobby Deol, who broke out again, and he's been a star, and I've been a fan growing up, but he suddenly broke out again. So I feel like as an actor, it's an exciting phase. It opens avenues to do different kind of parts. And I'm hoping, after having done Citadel, makers see me in that light, and I'm like, okay, he can be cast for this also, he fits for that also.
Yeah.
Because I've also had a kind of work. When I started very early, so there were those kind of roles that I could only do because I looked a certain way.
Right.
So I want the industry to see that I've grown up and I can play different kind of parts.
Yeah,
there you go.
Very well said. Because you know what happens is, this whole boxing, stereotypical notions, all that happen, they do exist. It's very unfair that we don't touch upon those topics. But I'm glad you spoke about the fact that while you're open, you're there, you're still, you know, like probably exploring more opportunities. And speaking of opportunities, as an actor yourself, how are you as a person? Like, do you feel you're somebody who could probably be okay to an audition, would want to audition, would seek a part?
If it's something I want to do, like, I feel like most parts I've tested for. And most parts I've wanted, I've reached out to the makers directly.
That's amazing.
With Raj and DK, it was different. I remember getting a call from them when I was in the UK shooting for something else, and they narrated the part to me. I'm like, oh, this is banger. But usually it's not as easy. You have to go, every maker comes with their set notion. Sometimes people see you as that character already.
Right.
Sometimes you have to convince directors and makers and producers that you are that part. So hence you have to go through that look test or whatever else.
Right.
And I'm open, man. I'm an actor. मतलब एक्टिंग करने के लिए तो बुलाया है. मतलब अगर एक्टिंग करने से ही कतराऊंगा तो फिर किस बात का एक्टर यार.
True.
And I have no ego saying कि अरे मैंने इतना काम कर लिया है. But no, every film is different. Every character is different. I need to see that if I fit the part or not. That audition is, of course, for the makers also to see me, but for me to also realize if I'm made for this part or not.
Right.
So I take it like that. I don't take it like, oh, I have to prove myself to people again. No, I'm like, I'm also trying to figure out if I can play this or not, or if I'll enjoy working with this team or not. So it's a lot of that as well.
You know, you very well spoke about the fact that, giving Bobby's reference, it is an anti-hero era where we are all like looking up to them and kind of liking that as well, right? Yeah, it's amazing.
Can we take a moment to talk about Bobby? How much I love him, irrespective of his era. He's just the nicest soul in the world. I just get so much positivity from him, his journey. And I just get these random voice notes from him every now and then, just saying, just Munna, just keep at it, you're very good. And when you get it from all these people, it feels nice. So
when did you strike this bond with Bobby? Let's talk about that.
We shot Race together.
Yeah, of course.
So we literally would hang out pretty much every day. We would eat together, train together, watch things together, spend the evenings together, then go to the sauna together. So we literally stayed together. And I feel like also during that time, we play a lot of cricket together. We have this celebrity cricket league where Bobby was also part of, and Bob Sir, me, Soil Bhai, Sunil Shetty, Ritesh, there's this team we have. So I think over that period is when I formed that bond. But, and you know, bonds with people, sometimes when you don't meet them, just disappear. But somehow with him, I've not seen him in, I don't know how many, a couple of years now, maybe a year and a half. But I can pick up the phone on him, or he could just send me a message or pick up the phone on me. And it's a relationship I really, really treasure in this line of work. I feel like he's just one of the genuine ones out there.
You know, and he's also very beautifully shaped this whole narrative that whenever you want to start, you can start. You know, you can pause,
No,
you can
inspiring.
rewind, and you can start
It's
at any
inspiring.
given point.
Like you mentioned about the fact that, oh, do you mind auditioning for things?
Yeah.
I'm like, Bobby Deol's been a superstar from the moment he was launched.
Right.
And he's had this inspiring journey right in front of you. So who am I to be like, oh, I won't audition or oh, I won't look test? This is how this works. So we'll go through it the right way. And I want people to cast me because they think I'm talented.
For sure.
Not because somebody's made a call for me.
Right.
So if giving an audition is proving my talent, I'm happy to, man.
What I want to ask you is that as an actor specifically for Citadel,
Ji.
right, for Honey Bunny, I want to know what was your temperament like on the set to play that character?
Oh, I had this whole backstory running in my head that this is my show and I'm the hero of my world.
Right.
And I had the justifications of doing what I was doing in my show bang on. And I have to credit Raj and DK there that they gave me the space to do that. And sometimes you feel like, arey, we are talking about these two characters and their whatever, but they gave me the space to play out KD the way I wanted to, and they were very happy to take suggestions or feedback or whatever. So I think I just went out saying he might be the antagonist for you who's watching, but he's the hero of his life. He has justifications for everything that he's doing, and he's not just doing them because he's bad. He is a reason to do what he's doing. So, and here's a guy who's craved love all his life. He's an orphan, and all he wants is this Baba kind figure to accept him as his best son, and all he's doing is for that. So I based it on love. I'm like, this is all for love. Whatever I'm doing for love, and that's how I played it.
Are you somebody who's very detached from his work or super attached?
I'm confused. Like
Define.
I feel like I'm very attached till like a point.
Okay.
And then I gauge the room of the energy. The energy of the room, sorry. The energy of the room. I gauge, I'm like, how invested is everybody? And once I start feeling that temperature in the room, I can go completely in. And sometimes you don't feel it with people. You're like, arey yaar, you're just putting in too much. Everybody is just coming in, servicing it. So I'm just glad that I've stopped doing work like that. I only want to work with people who are just very invested in what they do. So I get fully attached, but then I have to keep reminding myself that that's not the only reason for my existence.
Right.
And I need to detach now and let it go. So I'm right now in the process of detachment. That I'm letting this now, the show's out and everything. Now it's nothing's in your control, right? कि अरे वो मैं line ऐसे dub कर लेता तो better होती. Now it's out there.
Yeah.
Now it's out there for people to consume and see. So now I always tell myself that whether you're getting appreciated or not, you just don't have to take anything seriously.
Right.
You just have to enjoy it. I feel like the fact that I do this is because I really enjoy it. And now with all the love that I'm getting, I just want to enjoy that also, but not take anything too seriously. Try and find the best next gig for myself and go out there and express myself and get attached again to detach again. That's the process, right?
Yeah.
What else is?
What
right?
else is?
What
True.
else is?
And how are you on the graph of being critical and overcritical or absolutely not critical about self?
Insanely critical. I see more things than people can see. Like, I'm sure when you see yourself, you see more things
Right.
than what the others can.
Yeah.
So I'm just very, very critical about myself. I sometimes watch my scenes like this. I'm like, what have I done? What have I done? Oh shit, did I do this? Oh damn. Like, I go through those processes. But now I think I've become better because I've been around for a few years, I think. So now I think I've gotten easier. कि हाँ, ठीक है, it's alright. It's alright. You don't have to just judge yourself so quickly. Allow yourself. Let the character play out. Maybe it is working. So I feel like that. But I'm getting better, I think.
Okay, so now speaking of getting better, talk to me a little bit about what do you think from the time you started to now you yourself has bettered in terms of, let's say, professionally as an actor or even as a person. Give me that one thing that you feel you really, really evolved.
Okay. So I made my debut in 2011.
Yeah.
That time the definition of acting was very different.
What was it then?
It's like, okay, you're this boy from you this college kid, you have lots of energy, so when you talk with your hands, and you just a ball of energy, even if nobody cared of what you were feeling inside. You just had to, it was very external. Performances were very external. Like I feel like now we've gotten to a stage where if it's in the eyes, it's there. You don't need to oversell it.
Right.
Like you don't have to cry just to show you're sad. If there's sadness in your eyes, that's enough. I feel like तब हमने एक नोशन बनाया था कि अरे रो गया तो अच्छी एक्टिंग कर दी, मतलब रो गया यार क्या एक्टिंग कर दी. Like I feel like we've moved past that stage. I feel like now it's about what you're feeling within. That needs to translate to people. So when I look back at my performances now, I'm like, oh, very external. Wasn't feeling anything here. Should have felt something more. But then I also see over the years, and it's nobody's told me to do it. It's just how you see content is changing.
Yeah.
You start also kind of start changing with that.
Right.
And that's how it's become. Now it's become very inwards rather than outwards. So I think that's the biggest difference I feel. Yeah, that's the biggest difference.
Right. Very well said also. It's true actually. Everything is very loud and now everything is very like, let's emote it through whatever.
Yeah, पहले अगर आप इतनी internal acting करते तो बोलते थे अरे क्या कुछ कर नहीं रहा तू.
Art act.
हाँ बहुत indie acting हो रही है. Now all those things are called very felt and very real, and he was in the skin of the character, and I feel like it's also more data on acting has helped actors.
Right.
Like I feel like उस ज़माने और इस ज़माने के बीच बहुत सारी फिल्में बनी, बहुत सारे लोग सीखे और उन्होंने दूसरों लोगों को सिखाया, and I think it just became better. There was more data points to refer to.
Right.
So I feel like that also happened with acting.
You know, I have to ask you this. You also made quite a bit stir in a statement when you went missing from the trailer launch, the premiere that happened, and you were traveling someplace else. Do you want to address that?
Nothing. You saw the trailer?
I did.
So there was a certain narrative the makers had put out, and in that narrative they were wanting to withhold the impact of my character, and I felt like by just going for these things I would have been detrimental to the narrative they were trying to set.
Fair.
And I'm like, it's very important here for your work to come out, for you to start talking about it. Today we are sitting here. It's been 4 days the shows come out and the reviews are out, and now we are sitting and talking.
Right.
It makes for a better conversation. I was just wanting to put myself to a place where I can have a better conversation rather than say like, oh, I'm also there in the show. So just for that, nothing else.
You know, very fair to say this, that you brought this up, because in an era where we're all chasing PR, fame, limelight, etc., just because you're associated with a particular show, but may or may not have a meaty part, you chose to do the other way around. You just let your work speak, right?
That's the only way, ना.
Yeah.
मतलब मेरे पास नहीं है इतने पैसे PR पे खर्च करने के लिए और स्पॉटिंग्स के लिए पैसे देने, मेरे पास नहीं है यार. आई एम वेरी ऑनेस्ट एंड सॉरी, माई PR is going to hate me for saying this statement, but नहीं है. I think I just think the only way out is your work has to come out.
Right.
That has to support whatever else you want to set out, whatever interviews you want to give. This interview will only make sense because of the show being out and the performance being spoken about.
Right.
So I just feel like I only know that way. There is no other way I know. So I'm like, okay, let the show come out. And I was very confident about what my part was and how I had played it and how they had presented me. So I'm like, okay, let it come out, man. It's just 2 weeks. I'll go chill in Goa, do a holiday, come back, and then talk. Na? It's better to have a conversation like this. That's all.
Especially also when we've seen what you've done. It's only fair then.
वरना मैं आपको लगेगा मैं तो पता नहीं क्या अलग ही प्रोसेस की बातें कर रहा हूँ और आप बोलेंगे बहुत पकाता है ये एक्टर, है तो कुछ नहीं बट बातें देखो इनकी. So that was the idea. That's the plan. That's it.
Amazing. Okay, tell me, what going forward do you have in mind in terms of how do you want to sort of pick your scripts? How do you want people to perceive you, you know, in terms of the roles you want to do? Like, what's your, let's say, strategy now going forward?
No, I feel like after having worked for these many years, one understanding has set in properly that this is not an actor's medium. This is a director's medium. And going forward, or whatever else I've been doing in the last 3-4 years, is the fact to just find makers I really love
Right.
and I really like, and try and get to work with them. Because yes, there is lots of content being made, but is every piece of content that is coming out good? Do you get happy seeing yourself in that piece of content? No.
Right.
And I'm not a person who wants to be like, oh, I have 5 releases next year. I'd rather do one, but have an impact of it, saying, okay, I worked with a good maker who brought out something out of me and also made something of certain quality.
Right.
Because what good is a performance if a show is not good, or if a film is not good?
Right.
So I want to chase makers here. I want to work with everybody from Imtiaz Ali to Rajkumar Hirani to Sanjay Leela Bansali to Sriram Raghavan to Shakun Batra, to all these guys I really like and watch. And so yeah, that's the plan. Yeah, there's no other plan. I don't make plans. Yeah,
Why?
What? How can?
No goals?
Nothing materializes here. Yeah, you make this plan happens. You're like, अरे ये तो सोचा ही नहीं था. So it's like, just be open.
Right.
Just send out good energy. Just do good work. Just work hard on yourself, man. And that's it. There is no other way. I can't. मतलब, they used to say, अरे you should go to parties. You know, you get cast when you go to parties. Did that also in the beginning, you know.
सब करते हैं.
Nothing happens. You don't know any better, right?
Right.
You don't know any better. So I just feel like you just got to work on your skill set. And if your skill set is good, sooner or later people take notice. Yeah.
Right.
We've had enough examples, and that's my job, right? My job is not to make a business plan. I'm an artist, यार. मतलब मैं आर्ट के ऊपर फोकस करता हूँ ना, कि अगर मैं अच्छी होगी मेरी आर्ट, वो बिजनेस प्लान खुद बन जाता है, पता है? People want to watch you if you're good. So I'm just genuinely trying to work on the fact that people start loving you so much that the work keeps flowing. And that's my strategy.
You also have a very successful sister back at home with Huma, who's done such fabulous job.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Why do you say unfortunately? I mean, I would
How can you show love to your sister on camera, that too, yeah? How?
That's true. But then do you ever like discuss work with her? Do you go back to her?
All the time. I think our life, this office is, we've opened together, we are making movies together, we are chatting about what she's doing, what I am doing, what she should have done, what I could have done. All the time. We are in each other's ears all the time. Yeah? We love each other, we hate each other, we stay with each other. It's this beautiful brother-sister relationship. Yeah.
Always. That's with all of us. Me and my sister are super competitive, although we're in different fields altogether.
Surprisingly, we are not competitive with each
amazing.
other. We are very competitive like that, but we really are not very competitive with each other.
How do you think you and her are different in terms of the whole actor in you all that is concerned?
How different are we?
Yeah. Because I've interviewed her also a couple of times, and this is my first time with you. I'm trying to understand you all more as people.
No, Huma's different is because her training for acting was far more intense than it was for me. And I think she came in very prepared. I came in like a boy from Delhi who's just walked out of college, and they said, "Arey, you're good, you can act." I'm like, "Acha, le lo audition." They took my audition and I got it. And I'm like, what have they taken me for? What do I know? I don't know anything. So I feel like I look up to her in a lot of ways for sometimes how she crafts her performances. Whether it is something in Maharani or Monica, there's a way you graph your character. I think I see a lot of that in her and I get inspired. But I'd like to say that
and what's your different that sets you apart from her?
I really prep. I really prep.
The prep.
I really prep, and I'm sure she also does, but we've never really gotten into that. But I feel like I try and build a story in my head and in my eyes. That's what I constantly keep working on. I'm like, oh, it doesn't have lines, but how do I communicate? My story has to communicate. Oh, there's no backstory, no problem, but my eyes have to tell a backstory. So I think I prep a lot on that, and yeah, that's how I think. But she also preps, yeah. I don't know how we are different. We are from the same blood. How can we be different? Yeah?
Of course,
our approaches are pretty much similar only. Yeah.
Fab. Okay, tell me something. Before I let you go, I want to understand what is next for Saqib that he can actually openly talk about. I do understand that actors sometimes can't talk about projects, but is there something that you can talk about?
No,
that
I've
you'd like
just
to
finished shooting a series with Sudhir Mishra. That comes out next. So hopefully first quarter next year, where that is supposed to be out, you'll hear an announcement. There's a teaser that came out about 4 months ago. So that, besides that, this office is trying to develop some films that we are all working very, very hard on.
That's
and
amazing.
Put together a couple of them. You'll hear about them next year. So yeah, bunch of things. Yeah, exciting times. But also I feel like I'm hoping that Citadel opens up new doors and new avenues, and new filmmakers take notice.
Yeah. Also, I have to pinpoint this, being associated with Citadel that started with such a huge franchise name and then moving on to like Sam and Varun and you guys. I feel that pressure was insane. The buzz that Citadel had was massive, right? I want to understand before I let you go, at that point when you got that call, when you knew this is this franchise, when you knew who the people you're working with, what was that first jittering thought that occurred to you?
Nothing. I was very grateful for the opportunity. Like I told you, I only chase good makers now. And I felt like there were good makers who were coming to me with a very good part. And I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. I was very, very grateful. I in fact asked them, I'm like, why me? She's like, because nobody thinks of you like that. I'm like, great. That's a great start point. If you give me that much confidence, see what I can do. And that's what I worked with. So
what excited you the most about the project, other than, let's say, the name, the franchise, Amazon, Starcast, directors?
No, just the fact I was doing something negative. Negative is so much fun.
Yeah.
You can play with unpredictability so much.
Right.
And otherwise, you're just playing the nice guy who has to do the right thing always. I don't have the burden of that. I can make my choices and make my character far more richer and far more interesting and far more juicy. So I think that was the exciting thing about it.
And is Saqib content right now?
Saqib's happy but not content.
What will get to the point of contention?
I don't think we have to be content ever in our lives. We have to keep striving for something in our lives. If I wake up one day and be like, oh, I'm content, then that's full stop. Life is over, right? I have to not be content. I have to be happy. I am very happy with the kind of work I can generate right now, the kind of people I'm associating myself with.
Yeah.
But is this the pinnacle of everything I want? No, man. This is not even the beginning. So very happy, but not content at all.
Fab. Thank you so much. I think this was fun. I mean, this is the first time I'm meeting you. I hope I get to meet you again super soon.
Yes.
For now, I think Citadel is out there for everybody to watch. And of course, your previous work also, जिसको जाके वापस देखना है वो देख सकते हैं.
मतलब अब वो आपके ऊपर है, but Citadel आप पहले देख लें.
Thank you so much, Saqib, for your time.
It's been a pleasure.
Likewise. Hope to see you super soon.